My cuties, my friends! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mavis. I go by It's Fishy on Instagram and YouTube as of 2025. And basically, I'm just here to introduce myself to you, I guess, and be a shining beacon of hope for people looking to jump into a creative career or find themselves in a tattoo apprenticeship, which is what I'm about to start talking about because I wish that people had told me these things when I'd started. Okay, so to give you some context, I was a corporate girl working in a marketing design agency for 3 years. Fresh out of uni, 3 years, sacrificed a lot, and it just did not come into fruition. Was not paid well, yada yada yada. Things that I'm sure any creative in the corporate industry is pretty familiar with hearing. Okay, so obviously I was really jaded and I was like, I can't have this. This is not gonna work. Right? I was hating the day before it even started, let's put it that way. I started looking for an apprenticeship during my full-time role, during my lunchtime in a very busy blackout period. And I was very lucky that a coworker, shout out to Greta, was so supportive, and she was like, I think you should really just chase this dream. And I was like, shit, bestie, you right. So she quit, and I was like heartbroken. I was like, bitch, fine, I'm gonna do what you say. What am I gonna lose? So I ended up applying for, I think, around 10 to 15 tattoo studios in one night. I pulled together a portfolio that I'm actually gonna show you. So sitting over here at the end of this video. Sent them off, shelled them out, and at one point even walked into a tattoo studio to be like, hey, how you doing? You looking for apprentices? But I was very nervous, and I don't know if that really worked out or left a great impression. A lot of these tattoo studios were not looking for apprentice, which is fair and understandable, but also how dare you and other apprenticeship positions were full-time, so 5 days a week and unpaid. And I was like, I have just been through the trenches in uni doing unpaid design work. I can't do that again. So I found a studio that actually accepted me and let me do, I think, starting out 2 to 3 days a week and ramping up. And I was like, okay, yeah, mine. So that's the studio I'm working at now, and it's called Soul Tattoo Gallery. You'll see a lot of my vlogs around it. But when I hopped in this studio, I was shocked to find like, oh, you're kind of on your own as an apprentice. Like, maybe this is just my experience, and maybe there are other apprenticeships where they were like, had a mentor to hold their hand the whole way, like they felt very supported. But no, I was like the first in a batch of 4 apprentices, so it was literally just me against the world with my YouTube tutorials. Literally, Daniel Yuck, if you're watching this, shout out to you as well, because you have helped me so much. Okay, it's like my first few months as an apprentice was like trying to DIY a house. Like, I had no idea how to do it, and if I ran into a problem, I just had to Google it or YouTube it or just ask someone who knew what they did. Speaking of, I was so lucky that there were a lot of resident artists there who were more than happy to help me out with my lines or whatever issues I had. I was definitely such a mosquito. I kept hovering around them and watching them and asking them like, what are you using? What needles are you using? What voltage are you using? Can I watch? And I'd sit there like this. Hold on, my notes are down here, because I'm gonna forget all the things that I actually wanted to say. Okay, also, another thing that I wish that someone had told me. Okay, this is basically a list of things that I wish someone had told me, and what I wish I knew about this apprenticeship before I accepted it. Obviously, it was still an amazing opportunity. I do not regret anything, but there were parts where I was like, oh, I didn't know that, and it kind of took me by surprise. Okay, so here we go. This is pretty obvious, but your learning is 100% up to you. It's like, you would have thought with uni I'd be used to that, but at least uni had a curriculum. Tattooing does not. It is not standardized at all. So basically, you just have to make your way through it and figure shit out. My recommendation is setting yourself a goal and blocking time out in your calendar to actually focus and work on it. So my goal was to practice tattooing from home when I'm not in the studio 3 to 4 times a week. Obviously that didn't happen a lot, but it was like shoot for the stars, land on the moon kind of situation. At least I got in 1 or 2 sessions a week. Also, I'm thinking on releasing a video about like my tattoo setup at home, if for anyone who's out there not sure how to set it up, just like me, figuring shit out, I got you. So yes, it was a bit of a lonely lifestyle for a good half year. And then I think a few months later, my boss told me I could open my bookings. This was the beginning of November 2024. I was so excited. To prepare for it, I literally like set up a Google form that I was to prepare for it, and my bookings. I set up a Google form with questions that I stole from other artists because work smarter, not harder. Okay, wait a diddly darn second. This is Editor Mavis hopping in to say I've actually made a duplicate of the form that I use for my own bookings in my description box just to help you out. It's literally so free to duplicate it, and you are very welcome to use it for your own bookings. I'm here to make your life easier, and I firmly believe in working smarter, not harder. So go to How My Beautifuls. Just drop a comment and let me know if you actually ended up using it, how you like it, and while you're there, maybe you could like and subscribe. Okay, back to the video. Set up my schedule template again, taking inspiration from another artist, and I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm ready. But the moment I sat down in that chair to tattoo my best friend Matt, I was shaking. Girl, the adrenaline in my body was insane. Like I could not even pull the first line. I was like, what is wrong with me? But it's so fine. It's just the pressure of making a mark in someone's skin permanently, you know, as a life choice. And as a career, they can't get rid of it. It's up to you to make sure it looks good. No pressure, right? So anyway, the tattoo turned out fine. And for that first session, my boss was actually there to watch me and guide me like on my needle depth, my hand speed, etc, etc. But yeah, after that tattoo, it was kind of free reign, which was really wild because I was shelling out $50 tattoos left, right, and center. Like I did a full color tattoo for $100, and it took me I think 10 hours in total. But anyway, here are the actual concrete lessons that I learned and I wish someone had told me. That being, 1, take a deposit for everything. For everything, even if it's a free touch-up. Because if they don't show, at least you'll have $50 while you're packing up the station that you set out so painstakingly. And it's going to cover your travel fee there too. So you can refund that $50 to them after they show up, okay? Capiche? It's happened to me. It was not fun. It was very disappointing. Number 2, your friends are going to be your best asset. Not only, hopefully, they'll be willing to sacrifice their skin and canvas for you, but they're there to spread the word. Use them and abuse them. You don't actually. 3rd, state you're an apprentice for everything. Everything. And get your license early, especially if you're in New South Wales. You need that license to start tattooing, otherwise it's very, very, very illegal. Okay, and state that you're an apprentice, because if you get called out for it, you know, you can be like, I was just learning. I have been called out for forgetting to tell people I am an apprentice, and that's why it's in my bio now. I really regret that. So hoping that no one makes the same mistake that I do. I forgot what number we're on. I think we're on 4. 4th. The shop will take 50-50 of what you make as an apprentice. At least my shop does. I know there are other shops which will take 30-70, 30 the artist's way and 70 the shop's way. Make sure you know what that percentage is before you start. And make sure you're okay with that. You're also going to have to need a second job, because in between managing inventory, the front desk, sweeping, mopping, cleaning up, taking the trash out, drawing, you're not being paid there. For that 10 to 6 p.m. shift, you're not being paid. Find a way to support yourself, sweetie, or be okay with a savings account and you're happy with losing out on money every time you travel there. You're also, I think this is number 5, also you are expected to draw at least 100 designs. At least 100 designs before you even touch a person. That sounds really weird. Before you even touch skin, like tattoo tattoo someone. And also make sure you set your expectations low. Like low, like don't have expectations. I made the mistake of hoping at least one of my flash designs would be picked up during a flash day. Guess what? I was there the whole day, nothing. But yes, it will take, I've spoken to a few artists and they've told me like from starting tattooing, it took at least a year before, unless you're very lucky, at least a year before they ended up getting any kind of regular clients or regular bookings. Keep that in mind. Again, second job. I think the last note I want to leave is that it's totally okay not to find your style yet. Something that I struggle with, and while someone might look at my page and be like, no, you do have a style, look, I don't feel like I do. I have pages and pages of inspiration and I'm nowhere near that yet. And I don't know if that's what I want to do. So it's okay not to find your style yet, but never stop learning and experimenting. Find different inspirations, work on it and turn it into your own, and maybe you'll end up having a visual library. We can talk about that later if you want. But yeah, for now, I think that's all I really have to yap about. Thank you for listening. Wait! I need to show you my portfolio. Hold on, let me move you around so I can actually show you. Okay, we're starting this streaming. Alright. Let me start this. Okay, cuties. You're under my monitor screen, which is why I'll be looking up as I talk. So, welcome. This is the art portfolio. Yes, there is a cover. And I think all portfolios should have a cover. Not only is it more professional looking, because you want to be taken seriously, but it'll also have your contact details immediately. So it'll have your name, they'll know whose portfolio they're viewing. They'll have your handle and your email and or phone number as a way of reaching someone. Basically, the reason why I think having a cover for your portfolio is so essential is because it sets the tone and it makes it look, again, professional. Because I'm not going to walk into a library and then pick up a book which has its cover ripped off and guts spilling out, unless it's a really good book that I already know. Okay, so we've got the cover. Not much to say. If I were to redo this page, I would most likely put some of my flash or my art on the sides so people can already have a first impression of what my art will look like. Second page, keeping everything super clean because I want to hero, because you want to hero your art. Okay? If you want to add rationales, so fine, I think that's very valid, but you're probably going to want to limit it to at least just one sentence. Okay? The only text I have is my name, because I want them to know that yes, this is still my portfolio. And then just a description of what exactly these pieces are. So I did include a mix of traditional and digital just to show that yes, I can do both. My biggest tip for people who like putting traditional works in their portfolio is to scan your stuff in. It's not that hard. If you don't have a printer at home, head to your local Officeworks or printing store. They can do that for you for a fee. Or take a photo and edit it to the point where you can't see the shadows or texture of the paper. You want the background to be #FFFFFF. Pure white, or at least the background of your portfolio. Because anything else looks incredibly unprofessional. That is my one pet peeve, I will say. These pieces were actually made a year before I decided to apply for apprenticeship, as a challenge to myself to create things in the style of a tattoo. And I guess it worked out for me because here we are. You will notice that this page and the next are both in my own style. And if honestly I were to do this differently, I would actually add in an extra page with more traditional tattoo styles like American traditional, fine line, neo trad, just to show my potential mentor that I can and I'm willing to learn different styles, and also, like, you're flexible. Not to say that coming in with your own style and own artwork isn't commendable. I think there's definitely value to saying, like, hey, I already have a bit of my own style and what I like to do, because that means you're not starting entirely from scratch. That's always a plus. This is actually my last page. I've only got 3 pages including the cover. So apart from adding like a page with different styles, I would also add my last page as my resume, and then also again my contact details. So once a potential mentor has looked through this portfolio, they can be like, oh, I actually really like this work and I'm interested in knowing more. They don't have to scroll all the way back up to find your details. It'll be right there at the end. Also, I think the last tip I would add is that I would only put around 5 to 20 of your best work in here. No more, no less. Too much, you're giving them a workout scrolling through your portfolio. Too little, it's just not giving enough range. And all of these works have to be finished artworks. They cannot be sketches or ideas or concepts. All of them have to be taken to the final direct art stage to show you are committed to doing it. Okay, because if you think drawing it will take ages, tattooing it will take double the time. I think that's it. Thank you for listening. It's actually pretty dark here because the lighting from outside is not very flattering from this angle. But thanks for listening, and I hope you took something from it. Please enjoy and have a great day. Again, you can follow me on Instagram and YouTube, and it's fishy. Thank you. I hope it helped. Please enjoy your day. Goodbye.